What does it look like? Oh, hi. Hello and welcome everyone. Chapter 2
Summary
of
review.
summary review discussion of You Deserve to Be Rich. So, chapter 2,
Before we get into that, how was your week?
oh, my week was good. I'm preparing to go on a trip to Trini. So yeah, that's about it.
That's exciting.
How about you? How was your week?
That is good. I'm not going to Trinidad, so
It's not this time. Next time.
next time. But that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is in good timing, so I guess we get to do this video, chapter 2. But next week may be a little shaky, depending on when you travel back.
Yeah. So we'll come back obviously as soon as we can.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Chapter 2, dealing with financial trauma.
Yes. So in this chapter, they go over a few things. Obviously, do you want to start? So okay, so they talked about a few categories. Needed it, wanted it. What was I thinking? So one of the suggestions is to break down your budget, or not your budget, your expenses, and categorize them into needed it, wanted it. What was I thinking? I thought that was pretty helpful.
Did you do the exercise?
I did do it. So needed it. Those are things like essential bills and necessities. Wanted it. Those are indulgences that make life better. Let's say a nice dinner or a nice shirt. What was I thinking? That's just purchases that you don't need. They're not necessary. For example, a designer purse or designer shoes, not necessary. Definitely nice to have, but especially for budgeting, not the best time for that. So then it goes on to talking about different statistics on Black families versus white families. In 2019, the median income of white families was $188,200. For Black families, it was $24,100. And 17% of Black families were unbanked compared to 3% of white families.
So these are American statistics, of course. But I know that there's a gap anywhere in the world, unfortunately, between the two. So
yeah, I just thought that was a really important. That's a pretty wide gap between the two. So that was a good statistic I found reading it. Then it goes into carrying childhood into adulthood. It talks about one of the authors. He moved into a nice house with a white picket fence, and unfortunately, his parents had to. I think their
house got foreclosed.
The house got foreclosed, and so that was his learning experience from that, and how not to create the same mistakes as his parents.
And just the trauma of seeing like the aftermath, how it played out, and still currently plays out with his parents. And that's pretty interesting.
Yes. The most common financial trauma experiences, and then so it goes on to different.
Yeah, so that the part they talk about like the experiences of growing up in a 2-parent household versus a 1-parent household, and how that could dramatically switch the experiences and how you're growing up.
So they talk about different examples of trauma. So hoarding money. So just keeping money in a bag, let's say under the mattress, and just being
not wanting to like spend it at all.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when you're getting it again.
Then there's spending excessively, which I think everyone is familiar with, spending without a shopping list or budget, overspending during a night with friends, different examples of overspending, but I think we all get overspending. Shopping emotionally. So this one was interesting. So he was talking about feeling jealous after someone you know experiences a win or something you wanted. being upset or heartbroken after a breakup or professional disappointment,
Mhm.
being angry with your spouse or partner after an argument. And then it says using their bank or credit cards for purchases as revenge. Have you ever done that before?
I can't say I have, but I would love to try. I don't know. I feel like I feel too bad, but I would love to have tried that. How
Yeah.
about you?
No, not necessarily. Um, Not necessarily. We'll leave it at that.
But one thing they didn't mention with the shopping emotionally, is like people that are mourning. Like I know my friend when she was mourning, that was something that was an outlet that she also used was shopping. So um, I guess emotional shopping could look like anything.
Yeah.
Depression as well.
And then it goes on to explain money and health and the relationship between those two. So I didn't really think about this, but what they're providing in this chapter is saying that it could lead to high blood pressure, depression, migraines, sleep issues. So just that relation, people probably think money and your health are not related, but they are according to this.
Mm-hmm.
And then healing financial trauma. So it gives some good points on that. Watch your language. Obviously, if you keep saying, "Oh, I'm broke," you might be broke. So yeah, watch what you say, especially when it comes to yourself. Ask the right questions. So if you don't know something, ask. That's helpful. Seek the help you need. So if you feel like it's something you can't cope with on your own, try to get some help with someone who can. Put parameters in place. So once you've been able to identify the roots of your financial trauma and the behaviors associated with them, instituting boundaries for yourself will be important. So um, that's obviously good. You know, okay, max out my credit card. Maybe next time, once I see that I'm above 25%, I focus on paying that off. Um, Hold weekly or monthly money meetings with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Zai, do you do that?
I feel like I do a mental breakdown of it, but sometimes I don't want to review what I spend because right now I feel like I'm in a I don't know if it's the weather, but I don't feel like cooking. And I'm spending a lot more on food than I have before.
Okay.
And I think I should probably look into that a little more and stop it. But
I don't know if it's that you're spending more money on food because you're eating out or if it's just because the cost of food is just so
yeah,
expensive.
it's a bit of both.
Yeah, because I feel like the cost of food everywhere you turn is expensive. Used to be able to get a patty and a pop for $2, and I don't even think you could get just the pop for $2 in some places.
No, you definitely
let
can't.
alone a patty for $2. So like, yeah, everything is a lot more expensive now. Start by saving small to build from there. So they're talking about really small, which is a good start for someone who needs some guidance in saving.
Yeah, not
Start
even able to.
$5 to $15 a week. Just start there, and you'll multiply that by 52. See how much you'll make in a year. It's better than nothing. Trust me. That's
what
a good
what they
start.
spoke about in the first chapter though, which when we have our discussion after the review, we could probably dive into more. But they were saying to have a savings or a security net of 6 months of your expenses. That's like
Wow.
the goal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty scary because when they said that have 6 months of your 6 months to cover your life, like your expenses, that was like kind of slap in the face that I'm not prepared for any
emergencies.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So hearing the smaller amount makes it more attainable, but it's like, you have a long way to go.
Yeah. Okay, buy it and keep it. For some of us, the issue isn't saving money, it's spending it. It's possible to have experienced some financial trauma that makes spending money seem like the one thing that doesn't make sense. But that's exactly what we want you to do. So yeah, it's what are they talking about?
So here they're talking about like some people don't want to spend the money.
Okay.
Like I could say for myself, I have no problem spending on other people. When it comes to spending on myself, I have a hard time doing that. So, and it's the mind shift, the mind change of spending in abundance without thinking you're not gonna receive it back, and being scared to spend your money.
Yeah. Okay, yes. And it says here, so like buy yourself something because something you can easily afford but would never buy for yourself because you think it's not worth it. Buying it will be an opportunity to create and solidify your agency in your relationship with money. And this last point, expect and accept gifts. That was really, that kind of clicked for me because it talks about, when you don't have, growing up with a lack or believing financial burdens keep you from having good experiences. You tend to say no to gifts and such. And so, yeah, I've experienced that. Sometimes I say no to, like, people ask me what I want for my birthday. I say nothing. I'm just used to. Yeah.
So for me, like, I know, same thing. When they ask, I'm like, nothing. But I can receive, like, I can receive it. If they give it to me, I'll take it. I don't feel uncomfortable with that. But when it comes to like a direct question of, do you want this? What can I buy you? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. So this is so that's sort of talking about their financial trauma, how to get over it.
Yeah. So this whole chapter, I would say, was about mindset and trying to change your mindset, and really look at your relationship with money.
Yeah.
And see how it's impacting you receiving money. So let's get into some of the conversation. So they were saying, one thing that they said that stood out to me is how you feel about yourself is reflected in your relationship with money. Did that sting for you?
Yes, because it just kind of makes you think about that. It's something to think about.
Yeah, it sounds so like almost as though, like, I had to read that question a couple times. How you feel about yourself is reflected in your relationship with money.
Yeah.
So right now, if you are saying you don't have a healthy, the best relationship with money, in turn, that would mean that you don't feel that great about yourself. That's kind of what it translates to.
Yeah.
Based on what they said.
Yeah. And it goes also to your discipline.
Yeah.
If you're a disciplined person, you're going to have maybe a better savings, maybe not, but discipline is just stopping yourself from spending on things that you don't necessarily need.
And having like a plan with your money.
Yeah, that's very important.
And
that I've learned.
That's kind of what they are stressing, is that there is a discrepancy in how we are taught how to deal with money versus other communities are taught to deal with money.
Yeah, they do have that in there.
I don't think we, like, do you remember Mommy talking about money at all with us?
No, not at all. Not at all. No. I can't really think of any time where she spoke to us about money or how to save or what to do or anything like that. Do you recall any? I sadly don't remember anything.
Like none, or any of her habits. Like I don't.
Yeah.
If you don't know, we are sisters.
Yeah.
We have a thing. So like, yeah, no. Reading this, and they're talking about the traumas of like growing up, I couldn't help but to think, like, yes, we came in a single parent household, so it was just our mom, but I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah.
That I could say she passed down that I would want to pass down to our kids.
Yeah. So.
And I can see the residue of that. Like our mom was a big giver.
Yes.
And I think all of us have that ability and a
Yeah.
little too much,
Mm-hmm.
which is not a bad thing. It's good. But what they had stressed was that there are some that are financially more educated, right? And they have measures in place that keep them well off. Where those that are not that fortunate, they were still the most giving.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me think about us.
Yeah.
And then also, shout out to our sister Nikki. I
Look up
remember
yourself, Nikki.
just the other, like last week or 2 weeks, she was telling me a story. It was just something that she had heard. It's not a real story or anything like that. Where there were two families, okay, one black, one white, that were stranded on an island, let's say, and they both received a loaf of bread.
Okay.
And they were asked how would they divide the bread.
Okay.
The black family said they would divide the bread amongst the two families so everyone could eat.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the white family said they would share it amongst their family, and only if there's extra, they would give it. And that made me, I was like, oh, that sounds so harsh, but I think that's something that we need to adopt.
I don't know if that's something we need to adopt, but
not
that is
in a literal
the difference.
sense, but just the mindset of like how we grow up thinking that we need to give in order to receive, whereas we don't necessarily cover our priorities, which is our home first.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting story.
It's an interesting point. Like it was just like like wow, one of those ones like, okay, what is the right answer? But I think when it comes to priorities, there's only one clear winner, which is take care of your family first.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. And just last week or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about that. She told me that story.
Yeah.
And so when I read that, I was like, wow, this kind of goes into the mindset. Our mindset is a little warped.
Yeah. So which technique do you feel is most effective for reshaping your money mindset? Affirmations, celebrating wins, mentorship, community, or another?
In changing my mindset?
Yes.
I think
reshaping your mindset.
Reshaping. What was the first one?
Affirmations, celebrating wins.
I think affirmations. I think I could do better with that.
And what kind of affirmations?
Like, even when I make jokes, like, oh, like with my friends, like, oh, are you broke today? Like things like that. And those are things that they're speaking about, like your words have power. I know you're a big believer in that. Even when we'll joke and say, oh, are you broke? And you'll be like, no, I'm not broke. Like,
you know, like never be. I always said, like,
even
no,
if you don't have, like, you don't say those things. But like me, I would still run jokes on it. And it's like, maybe I need to think before I speak and not say it, even if I am joking.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah. How about you?
I like celebrating wins. Not with anything crazy, but I do like to treat myself. So, if I, get my credit card down to a level where it's not as much of an interest rate, that's a little win, like a different percentage. I can't remember the exact percentage.
Yeah, they said to be under 40 utilization,
something like that. So yeah, I got underneath that. Also with the help of a credit increase, but still, that's a little win to celebrate.
Honestly, it's a win getting a credit increase, even though sometimes we misuse credit, not because we want to, but sometimes we have to.
Yeah.
But you have to take it when they give it to you, I feel like.
Yeah.
When you want it, they don't have it.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah. Always take it. If you get offered it, just take it. But do not spend it. Don't go crazy, but do take it and let it help you. But yeah.
Okay, I have a question here. So we both started working at a young age.
Yes.
Do you remember spending your money? What do you remember spending your money on?
Jordans, not necessarily. Yes, we did go buy nice things, but to be honest, it was probably life's essential.
Yeah, we really did.
We were not.
I still remember being 50 buying groceries.
Yeah,
paying rent.
Yeah. So I mean, we didn't have the luxury of getting to spend our money on things that we'd like. We spent it on necessities, but I think that also taught us.
Yeah. That made us independent at a very
Yeah, exactly. And you know that you kind of, even though my budgeting wasn't that, because I had money, I knew that, you know, yeah, that was helpful in a
Yeah,
sense.
I think we learned budgeting very early. Very, very early versus some of like my friends.
Yeah.
I would say for
Yeah.
sure.
So there's that. How about you?
Yeah, same thing. I remember being in grade middle school and whatever little change we got from for lunch, we bought it. We bought a phone. And we were buying minutes on our phone. Do you remember?
Yeah,
And our
yeah.
ringtone, we bought a ringtone. 50 cents ringtone. Hustler's Ambition, right?
Yeah. That was my song. I used to wake up to that every morning.
So yeah, no, we bought the nice things because we had to buy whatever to stay.
Yeah, we also
relevant.
but even our clothes, that was out of necessity because no one was gonna buy our clothes. No one's gonna buy a shoe. So we had to.
And like we were cool still, so we still had to like look cool, but at the same time, I think we had to deal with like necessities that I don't think we should have been responsible for, but we were.
Yeah, that's life. Okay, well, this kind of goes to the next question. What role does your family, your circle of friends, or your community play in supporting or hindering your money mindset journey?
I would say we have a good support system. I think we're very blessed. I think anything that we want to do or whatever initiative we start to do, we always get the support from family and friends.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't think I could ever complain. And
so how do they support you?
Like whether they're buying it, whether they're giving me advice or opportunities.
Like buy whatever you're selling, whatever you're trying to do, like supporting it in that way.
Everything from with many small hustles, from selling food to making items, like everything they supported. But I think growing up, I would say because I think none of us wanted to ever ask for help, we always figured it out on our own without putting the stress on somebody else.
Yeah. But we knew that there was somebody else there if we needed them to be.
Sorry.
I told you we're keeping that in. I'm just joking. You never work today? So so what role do they play? I'll give an example. So my sisters are all playing Mass, except this one, but all my other sisters are playing Mass, and I told them if I can't get it within an X amount of budget, I can't play. I'm sorry, guys. And they were very supportive in that. They quickly took me out of the group chat. They took me out as soon as I said I was not going to spend that money. They quickly booted me out the group chat, the caravan group chat. So like it's like, the temptation's gone. I don't even know what's going on. I didn't even know they did that. That's hilarious. So yeah, they do support. If I say this summer this is what I plan on doing, they're gonna support me and
without the pressure.
But
come next year, the pressure's on.
Yeah.
All of us are playing or going somewhere, I swear.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So yeah, I think it would be hindering if you're somebody you love or a friend, family member is trying to save money, or they're in debt beyond their heads and you're still inviting them to go drinking. Everyone knows once you start drinking, the money it comes. So like
we're definitely blessed.
Yeah.
Honestly, when it comes to that. What other questions you got?
I have a few questions here, but is there anything else? I don't want to take too much time. Do you want to Say any key takeaways that you have.
Yeah, I think the main takeaway for me for this chapter was really seeing what category I fit in terms of whether I'm hoarding money, spending excessively, or shopping emotionally. I think it was pretty interesting to see where I fit and what changes I need to make. And putting pen to paper, writing it down in terms of like how your spending is actually being translated.
Yeah.
So that was a good takeaway for me. And it makes me excited to read the next chapter, to be honest.
Yeah.
This chapter left me wanting more.
To see how
Yeah.
they were gonna. Yeah, I thought that's looking forward to chapter 3. For me, financial trauma is real and common. So not, everyone goes through their own kind of financial trauma. They
Mhm.
learn from their experiences, their parents, their whatever they see growing up. That's
Mhm.
what they learn, and and just acknowledging that it is trauma and it's something you can work past.
Yeah, and something that's real.
Yeah.
Like, not to say like when we pass down, like we have to be mindful to not pass it down to our kids. I have a son with a baby on the way. You
have a
have
daughter.
So when I hear those things, it's like, yeah, we actually do the same way you would take in like therapy sessions for
Yeah.
dealing with PTSD or anything. You have to take it as serious with money as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
How about you? What takeaways?
Yeah, so that would be my main takeaway. Just again, money mindset. I know everyone's gonna get tired of me saying that, but it definitely is a mindset. I truly believe that. Like, I've seen it. Once your brain is very powerful. If that's what you believe, then that's probably that's what you. Yeah. So change your mindset. Know that you do deserve to be rich. And
which is why I love the chapter, the book. Honestly, I mean, I love the book name.
Yeah, and it is possible. There are obviously some changes probably everyone needs to do to achieve the level of financial freedom that they're looking for, but it is possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it for chapter 2.
Yeah, that's a summary for chapter 2. Well,
we'll see you guys next week.
Well, we'll have to look. If not,
Yeah.
we'll definitely touch base when you come back.
Yes.
Any plans for your trip?
Just looking for some wonderful coconut water, mangoes, all those good things. Yeah, looking for safe travels there and back. And yeah,
All right.
Trini, here we come.
So we will see you guys on chapter 3.
Yeah, please tell us what you thought of the chapter. If you're reading, what financial traumas do you recall growing up? What did you take away? What did you learn? If you learned something, if your parents did teach you something, how did that help you? And we'll catch up next week.
Yeah.
See you.
Bye.
So what is that?